Pleasure to be here with Senator Mike Crapo, and thanks for sitting down for a minute.
Oh,
I know
my
how
privilege.
busy you are.
Glad to sit down with you.
But it's good to have you here, and especially that because I know you understand how important these dinners are. So
this is incredible, and the turnout here is just incredible. That
It
means
is.
That's good news because people are interested in what's happening in our country, and the more turnout you see like this, the better the turnout's going to be at the election.
That's well said. That's exactly right. Yes, and then we're looking forward to seeing you in April, Kootenai County,
Yes.
Lincoln Day. So, and I was telling you earlier, but I wanted to make sure people on the interview knew that how much we appreciated you traversing the country a couple of times last year you had to go and be in D.C. to vote, and yet you came back to Coeur d'Alene for the Lincoln Day dinner.
Well,
and
thank you.
That was deeply appreciated. You made that effort. So, thank you again. So, I was just reading that you had, did you actually sponsor the bill, or you co-sponsor on the Protecting Veterans and Social Security
On their Second
on
Amendment
the
rights.
Second Amendment rights?
I am the lead sponsor on the Social Security bill and
Okay.
one of the co-sponsors on the Veterans bill. But both of these are situations where both of these two agencies have been directed by the President, as have other agencies, to identify people who they can claim are mentally dangerous. And what they have done is, for example, the Veterans Administration, they're saying a veteran, a person who's put their life on the line for our freedoms, but who has come home with a head injury, is mentally deficient and is a danger to society, and they are submitting their names to the National Criminal Background List, which means they're deprived of access to firearms.
Right.
And they're doing in the Social Security system, when some of our senior citizens get a little bit older and they might need some help with their finances, and so
Right,
they
yeah.
ask a son or a daughter or a spouse to help them, then the Social Security Administration hasn't done this yet, but they are considering
Right.
designating them as mentally deficient and dangerous to society and submitting them to the national background check.
And this is similar to what happened last year when Sheriff Wheeler and Representative Matt Shea and Representative Heather Scott stood firm
That's right.
against the VA
That's
right
one-
here in Bonner County.
That's right. That was on behalf of one of our Idaho veterans who got one of those letters from the VA saying that because of his head injury, he was deprived the access to a firearm. And fortunately, we were able to stop that one from happening.
Right.
There have been other veterans who have come to my office, here, veterans from Idaho, who got the same letter. And the letter basically just says, because you have a head injury, we are going to submit your name to the National Criminal Background Check List, and you are hereby notified that you will not be able to own or purchase a firearm.
That's astounding. Absolutely astounding. So much for the Second Amendment.
Outrageous.
Yes.
Now, this president probably won't sign our bills, but we're going to push this hard.
Good. Okay.
And I believe we may even be able to push them back and
Good.
stop them.
Well, thank you very much. That is going to resound appropriately throughout the community that you are willing to take that stand. And we just found out today that Justice Scalia passed away.
Yes.
And it just happened. We know that the vultures are already circling back
Yeah.
there. What are you hearing there in the Senate?
Well, obviously, there's hasn't been much time for the senators to talk about this because it happened during a time when we are all out in our states.
That's true. Right.
But I can tell you my opinion, and that is I can see no way that this Congress, this Senate,
Yes.
will confirm another activist justice.
Good.
The last two nominees who were confirmed that President Obama nominated, both have been extremely activist judges.
Yes.
And by that I mean a judge who will not focus on the Constitution and
Right.
interpretation of the law, but who believe that it's the role of the judiciary to create law. And one of them even said that she supported international law as a
Right.
source. And although I can't tell you exactly the procedures which will play out in the next few months, what I can tell you is I have a very high level of confidence that
Excellent.
we will not confirm
That's what we
activist
want to hear,
judge.
is that because you've got the chops.
That's right.
And that's what we need to hear and know, is that the Senate is going to stand firm. At least those of them on our side of the issue are going to stand firm and say this will not happen. So,
I can assure you that I will.
well, I knew that very much, and
I
so-
know there's going to be a lot of my colleagues feel the same way.
Good. Senator, thank you. It's a pleasure
very
and
much.
honor once again to have a chance to speak with you.
My
Thank you, sir.
privilege. Great to see you here.
Thank you. Here with Senator Russ Fulcher, and more importantly, my friend Senator Russ Fulcher, and I'm calling him Skinny Fulcher nowadays. So, how much weight have you lost?
You know, about 45 pounds. You know what, though? I needed to. I had put on just a little bit extra, and it was time.
Well, that's all like campaigning food.
I know, and you get fast food, and you're not eating right, and you're not exercising well. So,
Well,
but I feel good.
You look great. You
Thank
really
you.
do, and I'm very pleased that
No,
you're
thank
doing so well.
I
So,
think I can keep it off. I hope.
well, we'll encourage you to do
Okay.
that. So, what are you doing with yourself now?
You know what, Don? I got to tell you, for the first time in 10 years, we're back full time in the private sector, and we've got a little real estate business that we're working. And
Very good.
It's doing well, thankfully.
Good.
You know,
Good.
the market is reasonably good.
Okay.
On that front, I don't know why. I mean, to be honest, I don't see any big economic drivers, but
Yeah.
we're doing well. And but I'm still involved with a lot of legislative things. A lot of the legislators and I still interact on a pretty much a daily basis.
And you are on the board of directors for the Idaho Freedom
Freedom
Foundation,
Foundation,
are you
yeah.
not?
And so
Right.
I'll
Okay.
do a little bit of work with them.
Good.
And yeah, as you know, they monitor a lot of legislative activity,
Right.
and so I try to help with that.
And I have enjoyed what you had to submit as a board member for the Freedom
Thank you.
Foundation. You
Thank you.
write some good stuff, and what I think is important for everybody to understand is you've been there, so you know what's going on, so
Yeah.
you know wherever you speak, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
So I know that there are an awful lot of people, the Bradways included, because I still have a Russ Fulcher for governor sticker on the back of my truck. So what do you think? Sorry about banging that. What do you think?
No, you know, it's I don't think we're done, Don. And when I say that, I don't know that it's for a governor's seat necessarily, but the last experience we had when we ran for the 14 race was such a blessing. I mean, I got
Good.
to meet people like you. I got to meet people all over the state, and it was a huge encouragement. And
Yeah.
and you know, you start taking that personally, and you build those relationships, and you keep those going. And so I don't think we're done.
Okay.
You know, that doesn't mean that we're set on one thing.
Right.
But I think that the good Lord might have something in store somewhere.
Good.
But I got to keep a servant's heart. I got to keep people like you around to slap me upside the head and remind me what's important. And but we're going to be around, and I don't know if that'll be elected office or not, but we'll probably figure that out sometime this year.
Okay, well, there are those of us, you know how we feel, and we will be there to support you on whatever decision you make, because we know that you're not afraid to take it to prayer, and that's
No, I'm
that's
not.
mightily important.
And thank you
so.
for what you do and your faithfulness, because you and I have had a number of conversations in the past, and you're one of those that's been an encourager, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, it's easy to encourage you. So now there is I'm going to steal Cornell's thunder here, because he's going to ask you to auction off a pistol tonight that Smith & Wesson calls the Governor.
Oh my goodness, I think I'm familiar with that, because it's part it will fire a slug or a 410 round or a 410 shell, as I recall.
Right, a 45 long Cold War, I
Oh,
believe in 45
yeah.
ACP. So we were sort of enjoying the fact that it's called the Governor.
You
So-
know, there might be a few in the audience tonight that would just assume that I didn't auction that off. That's okay. We'll have fun with it. As long as you're game, I'm game. How's that?
Thank you, my brother.
Good.
All right.
All right.